the same. I'm just keeping it real now. It won't be the same if she let me kill. No, it'll never be the same.
Now you know what you're gonna do. You're gonna make them people mad about Jacquees. I don't know why the world hates Jacquees. I don't hate him.
Because he was corny at the beginning. He was trying to get on. And I think people associate, unfortunately, the corniness with him. But if you go back and actually listen to his music, bro, he's nice. But y'all know it. Y'all know
there's so many corny people on the planet. We love corny people.
And I'm not calling him corny. I'm saying he was viewed as corny. Is what I'm saying.
Let him cover all the R. Kelly music. At least then we can hear it again.
Y'all know I'm a sucker for 80s and 90s. That sped up 80s and 90s. Some R&B for the beat. Y'all know I'm a sucker for that, man. I'm a sucker for that. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna let me keep playing it.
Hey, come on in. We vibing today. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. We had a weekend of Cinco de Drinky, aka Cinco de Mayo. However you celebrated, enjoyed.
Water.
Yes. I don't want to get anywhere near an alcoholic beverage. All I'm consuming, good old fashioned H2O. And it's a good week for us. Braves playing good. I like that. It makes me happy.
Yeah, the Braves playing well. Falcons doing some things. Got some good news around the culture. You know what I mean? We got a lot going on, man. So y'all know what it is, man. Welcome.
And before we get into it, let's be very clear. The Hawks have had the best start. I mean, not the Hawks. Prayerfully, one day we'll get there with those guys. But the Braves are having the best start in Atlanta Braves history. And that is extremely exciting. Yes.
And you know what sucks? We are the talk of the league, but we're not. Because the Devil Rays are also having an unprecedented start to their season.
Let's go Rays. Let's go Rays. We're going to get there, and I cannot wait to talk about what the Rays are doing in our lives. They're moving in our lives in an unprecedented way. They are doing us favors that I appreciate. I don't know if I deserve them all the time, but I'm surely happy to have.
Yeah. And unbeknownst to me, I didn't know Baltimore was having such a turnaround to their season in baseball. The Baltimore Orioles. I'm sorry, y'all. I got the game on.
Did they spend any money? You know they basically the Oakland Athletics.
Well, they were. Now they are looking like the Atlanta Braves. They look like the Atlanta Braves from 2018, where we had all those young. No, where we had all those young players in 2018, and we had all that farm system, right? So then some of the farm developed. Well, Acuna didn't stay in the farm long, but Acuna developed, Swanson developed, everybody developed, and then the rest of the players, Christian Pache, and the other guys that didn't really pan out, we ended up trading for Matt Olson. You end up trading for Sean Murphy. You end up trading for other players that we ended up building out the World Series roster team. And, you get all of those players. Baltimore's done the same thing. Their farm system, their farm system has done the same thing. And now they have traded, for example, the reliever for them, they traded their farm system for. He shut the Braves down while he was in there. He's the top reliever in the league.
Yeah, I'm looking now. They got McCann at $12 million. That's a surprise. Gibson at $10 million. Frazier at $8 million. They're not the bottomest of the barrel. They still got a lot of guys getting paid less than $1 million. But
yeah, they're flipping assets. The assets that are sticking, they're keeping, and the ones that are not, they're flipping. So I expect them to spend some money next year, like the Braves did.
That is fundamentally key to evolving your organization. If you want to do it in a realistic, sustainable, incremental way, like the Falcons.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Braves.
I'm about to say, the
Braves. You could kind of say the Hawks mostly.
Well, we are on the other side of that. If that's the middle, If the beginning is the build, the middle is contending, and the other side is trying to figure it out, we're on the figure it out side. It didn't work out from what it looks like.
Yeah, but also, I mean, we'll talk about it later. That CBA is changing basketball. That going to just buy new players every year. You're going to get your 3, and then it's going to be guys playing from your local YMCA. Ask the Phoenix Suns. They're not going to just allow you to just Golden State this thing and just, oh, yeah, we'll pay him. And no. Mm-mm. Pay them 3. No mid-level. And if you get too crazy, we'll take your draft.
Well, that's that. Well, like I said, we'll get to it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the pregame. Y'all know what it is, episode 102 of the Splash Cast. Kind of came in on us just talking. You know what it is. Before we get into our Around the League Monday Night Raw, we always do the pregame, where we like to talk about baseball, as well as violence and heartwarming stories, all at the same time.
That is a gamut of emotions, I would say.
Yeah, man, get you ready, get your heart pumping. With that being said, man, I'm your co-host Reggie.
I am your boy Norwood, and we are your HBCU homeboys. Let's talk about Sean Murphy.
Man, Sean Murphy. So we were just talking about how the Braves were able to flip. They built their farm system out, took what they needed, and flipped the rest of the assets for better players to fill out the roster and replace players that left. Wilson Contreras, Freddie Freeman, you get Matt Olson from the A's. Well, looks like we need to give them another fruit basket because Sean Murphy, our starting catcher, is player of the week for his week against, who do we play? The Marlins? The Marlins. We played the Marlins, yeah. He had 5 runs, 9 hits, 3 home runs, and 12 RBI, including a 2 home run game against the Marlins. It was a 6 RBI game. Shout out to him, man. Kudos to you, bro.
Once again, from the big A to the A that may only exist for a few more days, the Oakland Athletics. Without you guys, once again, none of this will be possible. And from A to A, we really appreciate you. Matt Olson, thank you for delivering that guy. Sean Murphy, thank you for delivering that guy. If you have any good leftovers, this is the day after Thanksgiving. This Friday. You got anything else you're trying to get rid of, we will come by with a little Tupperware and just throw it on in there, and we'll get on out your way.
These good leftovers. These not them Thursday leftovers. This that Sunday dinner leftover. No. This grandma leftovers.
These are premier. These are elite leftovers. These are the leftovers that are so good that if somebody eats your leftovers when you wake up from that nap, you ready to what? Beat they ass. Hey, bro, why did you touch? You knew that was my food. I wrote my name on it. Why did you touch it?
Yeah,
no big deal. No big deal.
Yeah, man. So what we're talking about with leftovers for those that are listening is Sean Murphy, again, player of the week for the Braves. He is our starting catcher we got from the Oakland A's after William Contreras left in free agency, which is not looking like a great signing, but no shade. And we ended up replacing him a year after we replaced Freddie Freeman with Matt Olson, who is also on the MVP race. Ronald Acuna, Matt Olson. I don't think Sean Murphy's in the MVP talk for a good month, but if he stays like this, he will be. Braves playing crazy.
We may also have the second best. We also may have the best second baseman in baseball in Ozzie Albies. Braves have put together a team. Now pitching, we need y'all to wake up. Yeah. Y'all got to do your job. These bats are hot and stay hot. We need you guys to do your part, though. It is. If we could pitch at a high level,
we'd be far and away the best team. That's why we're number 2. The bats are so good that we're number 2. If we had pitching, we'd be number 1.
And I'm talking about we've been giving up 4 runs way too much for us. But you also go down there and score 9. So.
Score 7 in the inning. Like, okay. Speaking of catchers, we brought in Sean Murphy, who was player of the week, player of the month. Well, Travis d'Arnaud is back off of concussion protocol after being there. He was there since April 8th. So that must have been like a real live concussion. That wasn't no like, oh, we're putting you there for precaution. Like he was out for 4 weeks. And he's been
and take your time. We got another dude hitting them like hitting them out of the park. Take your time. That is one of the best things about our depth is we don't have to rush players back before they're not healthy. You need the time. We have the depth. We have the players. I mean, same thing we're gonna say with Arcia.
Yeah, man. So I'm happy Darno is back because thanks to the National League and the rules of the MLB, we can now play him and Sean Murphy together. An interesting fact about this is they optioned Chadwick Trump to AAA, and they also brought back Arcia, who won the job from Vaughn Grissom. Vaughn Grissom had been doing well up here when they brought him back. His bat was popping, but that was never the problem with Vaughn Grissom. It was the fielding, and he had like 4 errors while he was up here. So shout out to Orlando. Arcia came back and immediately had like 2 RBI in the game and a web gem as well. So we needed you back, man. You and Ozzy Albies look pretty good.
Yep, and I hate to say it because I went into the season thinking that Arcia would have this job for a little bit, and Grissom would eventually get it back, being the younger prospect. I was wrong. Coach Washington said it best: if you want to play better. And so far, Grissom has had an opportunity. That's what what I believe. I don't care if you're number 2 at anything. You play right for long enough, you'll get a shot. You get a shot. It didn't go his way. I've seen talk that we may end up looking to flip him because he's still a good asset.
Arcia or Grissom?
Grissom. Arcia is the starter. That's his job. That's his job to lose now.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about that too. And Alex Anthopoulos, him being who he is, I could see us flipping Vaughn Grissom for a pitcher. Somebody really, really good.
I still think he's a long-term good prospect. I like Grissom a lot.
I think his confidence is kind of shot in the field. He looks real hesitant.
Is there not a way? Is he not an outfielder at all?
That's what I said. That's where I said put him. You remember I said that in the offseason. I was like, put him in left field.
Me too.
We don't have one.
And now this is the thing I will say. Once again, I know if you listen to this on a regular basis, you hear us talk about Alex Anthopoulos and how he might be probably our 3rd or 4th, 5th best player. We got some guys right now. But he knew that Arcia was the better player, and that's the reason he gave Arcia the contract. And for him to see that means that his calibration is 40-40. And to have a general manager with a correct calibration is exciting. He also has probably the best signing of the offseason with signing Pilar, who has come in and constantly done exactly what we need.
Game-winning 2-run home run against Baltimore. First game-winning 2-run home run.
And thank you, Alex Anthopoulos.
They've signed Kevin Pilar. They called it a flyer, is what they call it. They signed him to a minor league
contract
that would pay him $3 million if he made the big league team. At the time, it looked like it would wind up being significant in the grand scheme of things. But Pilar, I don't know if I'm sure he took it as an insult, but he also took it as. But there's people take challenges certain ways. Some take it as an insult and they don't do anything. They sit and pout. They don't work at it. Or you can be like Kevin Pilar and said, all I need is a shot. He come up here and hits the game-winning home run, and now he is the number 1 best dollar-for-dollar signing in the offseason of all the signings.
100%. And like we said, we're through 30-some-odd games. So if you can sign a guy and he can be that good, everybody doesn't have to be a world beater all season. Would be great. But if he doesn't, if he can only give you 30 or 40 really good games and help you move along to put you well ahead going into the stretch, it's money well spent. a long baseball season. Invest and then play these is a few small mini seasons. If you do
And he
that
knows his
consistently,
role. He knows his role. He knows he's not going to play every night. He's almost, you know what he is? This is why I just had this epiphany right now. This is why Alex Anthopoulos is a genius. He's Charlie Culberson. Charlie Culberson got signed and went somewhere else, and he was our utility player. He played outfield. He played third base. He played shortstop. He could hit, and he stole bases. Eventually, we knew he was going to go somewhere, and he went and got paid. And Alex Anthopoulos always goes and he will always get you paid. He's always going. Christian Pache just got cut after getting paid because he's always going to get you paid. Kevin Pillar,
and I
sign him to that contract. He's the exact same thing.
We have a good clubhouse, and I don't know how because we keep losing our de facto leader in Dansby and Freddie, but there's something there where players like playing in Atlanta. And I think that when you said that players take, kind of exception to the way that they're challenged, it's also going into a challenge. If you have the right level of confidence, this is a layup. You better not give me a chance. It's certain things that a person challenges you to. You be like, hey, bro, all right, I'm the wrong guy for that. Now that I can do. And those people, Pillar has run away with it early. Like, hey, I got this. I can fit into a lineup. Once again, I don't have to be a world beater because I'm surrounded by them. All I have to do is do my job.
Take advantage of my opportunities.
And get on base, and there are typically people on base already.
So his raw slugging percentage, he ranks 7th in the league, and he would be higher if he had more plate appearances. He also ranks 5th on the Braves, and I think he's 2nd in the Braves, 2nd in the Braves in stolen bases behind, of course, Ronald Acuna. So he's out here doing things that are
MVP candidate. Ronald Acuna.
Yeah. That are crazy, and especially if you look at our payroll compared to the Mets payroll, which is $250 million.
Hey, spending. Oh no! We gonna get there. We gonna talk about a little payroll because y'all spending money, huh? Buying baseball. Baseball cannot be bought. We cannot be had. We are the Atlanta Braves. Okay, I got a little ahead of myself. But yeah, Ronald Acuna. Y'all better watch that stolen base record. I'm telling y'all, he is a man on a mission. I think they say he on pace to steal like 85 bases this year.
Well, y'all, the rule, they'll have to change some type of rule. Well, because remember they changed the no. I don't mean that in a fun. Like they changed the rule. You can only look over there twice in order to speed up the game. So I mean, if you can only look over there twice and you look over there once. I mean, Mike Harris Acuna's already fast. He was already stealing bases with the old rules. Now you made it easier. And I'm fully healed. And you got to worry about the dude at the plate. Because the dude at the plate, if you don't pay attention, he going to hit a home run. It's over.
Yes. No. Whoever is up next, you're right. That is the bad part of our lineup is the worst. I feel bad for pitchers. Because it's like, all right, what do I do? Do I pitch to Acuna and let him go yard on me? Or do I pitch to him, let him get on base, and then I'm stuck? Because I have to strike the next 2 or 3 guys out who are monsters, or Acuna is gone. And I like the fact that the Braves could break baseball. You damn right. Let's break it.
Oh, let me address what you said about de facto leaders are gone. And I'll giving all this credit to Alex Anthopoulos. My last point is we've given a lot of credit to everybody. Alex Anthopoulos, Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna. We have not given credit to Brian Snitker and the coaching staff. When you lose guys that are supposed to be the leaders of the organization, of the team, and you get a younger team, because our team is pretty young, but the coaches have been the mainstay. Ron Washington, I forgot the guy who's our first base coach. His name is Eric. Golly. Ron Washington, Snitker, and Eric. Those guys have been mainstays, and they have kept this ship afloat and booming right now. So we got to give a shout out to him, because I was the first one to be like, hey, Snit, you messing up, lad. And then he won the World Series. Got to give it to him. Got to give it to him.
And Reggie has never had another negative word to say about him. Very similar to a guy named Terry Fontenot. Reggie might never say anything negative about Terry Fontenot ever again in life. Brian Sticker, they both got the Davis quick scope pass. No shoot.
Yeah, you got it, bro.
Hands down, man down.
Anthopoulos got it, bro. We trust him. Let's talk about these Tampa Bay Devil Rays. These Tampa Bay Devil Rays are 26-6. But I really want you to pay attention who's 17-15. It's the New York Yankees, who have one of the highest payrolls, if not the highest. They may be the third highest.
No, I think the Mets.
The Mets are highest. I think the Dodgers may have cut a lot of costs, and then it's the Yankees.
And they not playing great either, let me tell you.
So the Yankees are 17-15. Now, make no mistake, Aaron Judge is still hitting home runs. Like, that has not changed. But as a whole, man, I mean, that roster is aging. And nobody wanted to talk about that. Giancarlo is not young. Like, there's a lot of players. Chris Bryant ain't young. Aaron Judge might be the young guy at 31.
Ain't young.
He's 31, yeah. That's why he wanted his money. I ain't going to get another one.
And let me apologize. the Dodgers are first in. But
now, they started off late. But look at these guys right here.
Yes.
The Mets are
boy.
2-9 in their last. For our
17-18.
The Mets are 17-18 overall, 2-9 in their last 11 games, and Max Scherzer is having a time with this pitch clock in the sweat. I guess he's been called multiple times for having stuff on the ball, and they suspended him.
For the sweat rosin mixture. He says that he says it's only rosin and sweat. He says the rosin plus the sweat makes the ball sticky. He's able to manipulate it, but they also put him out of the game for it. And also, let me be very clear. We don't care. Y'all put all that money, figure it out. We do not care at all. Look at that. That brings me so much joy. That is pain on the left side, struggle on the right side, me happy. Look at that.
For our listeners, that's the Mets have lost. There's a lot of L's on the left side of this, and there's a lot of L's on the right side of this. There's a combined 6 wins over their last 22 games. I said that right. 6 wins over their last 22 games, the Mets and the Yankees are. They tried to buy baseball, and it backfired.
And I don't typically, if you know, I'm sure that all of you guys are not first-time listeners. Shout out to the first-time listeners. Also, shout out to the world, all the people who support, follow, also like, follow, subscribe. But you know that I specifically hate 2 teams. Reggie's football team, the University of Georgia Pit Bulls,
national champions,
and the New York Yankees. I hate them. The reason that I hate them is because they just buy the best baseball players. There is no farm system. There is none of that. Well, the other team, the Mets, have attempted to do the same thing. They're just buying baseball. Now, I don't necessarily have the same hate to start out with, but it is building on me because you spent $1 billion trillion on your team, and guess what? Still a flaming bag of garbage. Congratulations to New York.
I'm about to take a shot at the Mets. I don't care. I don't hate the Mets. The Mets sabotage themselves. They are the epitome of self-check. Like, what's the dude, Sal, that went on there and said the NL East shit was over before Memorial Day, and then they ended up blowing the lead? It was over. You ain't seen another Sal clip yet. You ain't seen another Sal clip in 2 years. Like the Mets, they have all the potential, but it's that mental struggle that they got to get by. I understand. I'm a Georgia fan. Trust me, I know. But once you get by there, now the Yankees, y'all can go to hell. I don't care what y'all do. Y'all suck.
You can go to hell.
I hope y'all suck for
right now.
And I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. 'Cause I'm about to get real disrespectful. This is gonna be a double entendre.
Go ahead. Do I need to put my?
No, I was just gonna say y'all can suck forever.
Yep, and I mean it looks like it's rubbing off on the Knicks.
Boy, I mean the Knicks, they cut it down to 5. If y'all see my eyes, I'm shifting to the left is because the Knicks and the the Heat are
I
on.
need to refresh.
Yeah, it's down to 5. Jimmy out here, and they can't, but the Knicks can't stop it. Whatever. Let's move on, man. So the Tampa Bay Devil Rays have recently created Randy Land, a section for Friday home games. This is so fire because that section gets a free beverage every time Randy. Every time Randy hits a home run.
Arcia, AROZ. Arcia hits a home run. It's $49.
You get a whole
admission, a T-shirt, and a free beverage every time he hits a home run. And as a pseudo supporter of the Tampa Bay Rays, mostly because they can cause chaos to the New York Yankees, hey man, we want you to keep hitting home runs and get those people drunk. We support Bevan Rogers on this podcast, so we support you doing that on the very first time they had that promotion for you.
And he hit a home run
into the pool.
He hit a home run, and the whole section gets a beer. Do you understand how happy I would be? Because let me tell you something. Yeah, that was tough. He stopped at third base and then posed for our listeners. But let me tell y'all something. I'm always bringing my kid to that section every game. We not sitting nowhere else but the Randy Zone. I'm going to get 2 out of that. That's 2 beers. Yes, sir. That's 2 tickets.
That is a black dad answer. Hey, you can't eat.
You can't even drink. Get that to me. What y'all got?
Sir, you have a child. Like I said.
I got 2 tickets.
2.
This ain't no children's ticket. I had to pay the same price.
And I'm going to tell you right now, as a person who has snuck into many a SEC championship tent, we're not taking no as an answer.
No. We're just going to sit here and talk for the rest of the game until you get tired and you give me this beer that I deservedly get.
No, you're going to go get that beer and you're going to bring it back.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
tip you if you come on back with my beer now. I got $5, $10 for you.
So this Shohei Ohtani graphic, and I'll describe it for our listeners, has discouraged me from thinking that the Braves are going to get him. Baseball has the ESPN, Kylie McDaniel polled 26 Major League Baseball executives, agents, and insiders to find out what Shohei Ohtani's contract will be next year. The average value of what those 26 executives said, mind you, this is the average value. Some were higher, some were lower. The average value was $524 million. I'm assuming that's going to be 10 to 12 years. $524 million. That makes him the highest paid baseball player of all time.
That's 2 players, though. That's a pitcher and a hitter.
$524 million, $50 million? Yeah.
No, $262 million per person. He just happens to be one person. Pay me to pitch, pay me to hit. I do both at an exceptional level.
Oh, yeah. They are paying him as if he's a number 1 pitcher and the number 1 hitter in the league. And it's going to happen. And
yeah, I mean,
the other side of this is
I'm not going. I don't play with that. Now I ain't gonna challenge you and say go get him. I don't want that smoke.
But the Padres and Mets and the Dodgers, they think his agent will pit those 3 teams against each other to run up the price. And
who can? What do you know? If they spend $524 million. Any of those teams more? Oh man, there's Padres. You got Machado, Tatis, and Juan Soto, and you gonna add him. And man, I hate them. Then they will go on the hate list because that's egregious.
That's
you
$1
can't
billion.
buy the whole league.
Yeah.
You're just buying all-star teams now.
But the thing is, also, and what I was gonna say is, the return on investment may, depending on which team he goes to, there will be a return on investment. Like,
oh yeah,
he's going to generate because if he goes to a contender, then that contender every game is a sellout automatically. He goes to the Braves, he goes to the Rays, he goes to the Padres, the Mets, the Dodgers.
You're gonna make that money back in merch so fast.
Could you imagine him in New York? They would make $1 billion in the first 6 months.
That is the best case scenario. He He's a guy who, and realistically, there are not that many teams that can afford $524 million. He's a Yankee. Everything about him says this guy's a Yankee.
They just paid Aaron Judge $300. Ooh, you know how mad? I don't even know if Aaron Judge would be mad though. You couldn't be mad because he pitches. Like that's the thing. Like whatever organization he joins that pays him this money, he's going to be number one, the best player on that roster. And if you got an ego, you better tuck it at the door because he could pitch and hit.
Learn to pitch. Learn to if you want to have an ego, learn how to pitch, Aaron Judge. Otherwise, you gotta shut up.
Yeah, man. Or you'll have a bad day. So, man, I think that concludes the baseball portion, the Major League Baseball portion. What we're gonna get to is y'all. So the other day we had on the podcast where you just have a bad day. And the pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles went and allowed like 6 runs, and he threw the glove in the trash can, and he beat up a towel, and then he just went into the clubhouse. He just had a bad day, and we talked about going to work, and, you know, sometimes you just got to go home and punch the punch bag, lift some weights, run, do something to get the aggression out because you had a rough day, somebody done tried you. We work with customers. We
might
both
have
know
a beverage or 3 or 8 or 11.
Do something. Well, let me show y'all what another bad day is. This is... this is a player in Mississippi. He's in a hitting slump, and he decides to take a pitch, meaning he seizes the ball. I'm gonna show y'all what happens here. I'm gonna unmute it.
He actually takes the pitch. I think he thinks he's gonna be hit by the pitch because of the location. As you can see, right over his head right
now. So the pitcher throws the ball and it ends up behind him, and he actually looks like he's going to get hit by the pitch, and it hits his bat, and it pops up in the air, and the catcher catches it. That is awful, Sean. If you're a hitter and I hope he's really not in a slump, because if you're in a slump for real, that's just like par for the course at that point. You're just like, whatever.
This is worst case scenario. First of all, he definitely thinks he's about to get hit. So he kind of turns his shoulder so you get the fat meat of the arm or the back. You don't hit me in the head or something like that. I've seen wiffle ball players do this before. Wiffle ball pitchers. If they're going to watch it, they'll try to hit the back end of the bat, and this is what it does. What makes this worse is this is clearly the 3rd out of the inning. So now they're done. He's just standing there looking devastated, and people walking off the field. That was a long walk to the dugout. And yeah, if you're on a slump, this gets you no closer to your slump.
And the coach, that's when you walk to the bench with a lot. I hope somebody do got something to say about that happening. I hope you got something smart to say. I hope you reference my hitting slump when that happens, because I'm gonna cuss you out. That's when you walk. You just so mad. The coach just don't even say nothing to him.
Or sometimes, like in life, when you get really mad and you trying to slam something and it don't slam, or you walk by and the handle catch your pants pocket.
You trying to storm out? Ooh, yeah, that sucks.
Sometimes you just gotta laugh and be like, you know what? This is life. And then after that, you kind of move forward.
Yeah,
I had a moment like that last week.
Yep. Oh, hold on. Let me pause this. So, Joe Burrow is the next quarterback to get paid. We're not going to discuss that in depth because we don't know when it's going to happen. But he's the next guy to get paid. Him, Justin Herbert, all of them. But he's going to break the bank.
Agent already negotiated the contract on his behalf. So just go pick up your money whenever you're ready.
For Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
She represents him?
Proxy.
That's what you mean. That's what you mean.
You got Lamar paid. I know where I got to be next.
Y'all better hope they don't. Yeah. And the thing is, the Bengals owner is cheap. But a lot of people signed. So Jalen Hurts got that contract for his ability, yes, but they built around him. It was really for the intangibles. The fact that he was such a good leader and really rallied that team and unified that team together and had them all believing not only in him, but believing in themselves, right? So obviously they pay for intangibles. Joe Burrow is the same way. Joe Burrow, I remember when he first transferred from Ohio State to LSU and he started, and LSU didn't play that well. And they went to the, what bowl was that? It was in Florida. Gator Bowl. They went to the Gator Bowl and they played University of Central Florida. And they were down. He had just thrown a 101-yard pick six. He was going to make the tackle, and he got absolutely destroyed by the defensive tackle, waiting on him, pointed him out like Ray Lewis did to Ed Reed, and laid him out, and he looked like Reggie Bush getting up. He couldn't catch his breath. He was hurt. They were down 28 points. He got up, refused medical attention, came back. They won by 14. They had a 42-point turnaround in that bowl game. The next year, what I'm talking about, referencing this, is his leadership qualities and Joe Burrow being that dude, meaning he don't back down for nothing. Oh, man. He don't back down from nothing.
Doesn't get bothered by a lot. That's what I really like about him. I really hate quarterbacks who can't control their emotions. It's probably
sometimes,
not the best
though, I'm about to say, sometimes you got to let that emotion go. And when you're in well, I'll let this play. This is Patrick Tween talking about when him and Joe Burrow got in a fight. So I'll play that real quick.
So Coach O stops it, and they get up wrestling and stuff, and then Coach O stops it and is like, hey, don't hit Joe. So Joe over there sitting, talking trash. So I'm like, okay, cool. So the next play come, I hit Joe. Boom.
On purpose.
On purpose. So Coach O is like, hey, don't hit Joe. I'm not going to say it no more. So we're like, okay. We get back in the huddle. We're going to hit Joe again. So Joe rolls out on a pass, throws a pass down. It's incomplete. I push him. Start talking trash, jumping in his face, like doing like a little cowboy dance in his face and stuff. And all I see is him just reach back, boom, punch me with the face mask on and everything. Oh, look. I said, Joe really just hit me. And then next thing you know, we were all wrestling. We're on the ground. We're fighting. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in a headlock. And he's sitting there. He's punching me in the stomach, like steady punching me. So I'm on the ground. I got him like this, and our bench is that way. So I see him, and all I see is Jacoby running from like 30 yards. He runs in and just smokes Joe. Boom. So we're like, bro, we are bad. Like we gotta stop.
Not good.
We gotta stop. And then
The quarterback.
It probably took us like 5 minutes to get separated. And once they separated, Coach O was looking at us. Coach O was like, y'all two are funny. Like,
This is a funny story because
No, it ain't.
Because not funny. I mean, they were fucking Joe up, but Joe won the team over. Like they knew, like the way Patrick Queen talks about him. Joe Burrow is good and is good in Baton Rouge. He don't have to pay for nothing. They about to name a building after him soon. Like he's good. If you know his background, it reminds me of how Duke players talk about Christian Laettner. How Christian Laettner, you thought he was like this pompous white dude that came from Upper New York, and Joe's from Ohio, and he's 5-star. Nah, they both from the same area that a lot of us from. Like they both grew up in the struggle, and Joe proved himself. So it's interesting to hear that. But Patrick Queen and Jacoby, y'all crazy as hell for hitting Joe Burrow, your starting quarterback, that ended up winning the Heisman.
And that's how you know that Ed Ogeron had let LSU get too far out of pocket. They are just over there destroying the #1 quarterback. Are you crazy? You can't do that in high school. So it ain't no way in the hell here at Louisiana State University you just gonna be knocking on quarterback around like bumper cars. Man, hell no. I've seen quarterbacks in high school who are highly protected. You will run for the rest of practice. You hit our quarterback, and you think you finna do this?
This reminds me of the
Coach O was crazy, yo.
Coach O been crazy. I mean, he was out there slaying too.
For a short time, I'm gonna get this check. I'm gonna get these biddies, and I'm gonna get
the hell on. That's what I'm about to do. But this reminds me of the year Cam Newton won the MVP and they went to the Super Bowl for Carolina. remember him and Josh Norman got in a fight that offseason. Him, Josh Norman, Steve Smith beat the hell out of a couple. No, Steve Smith was gone. Him and Josh Norman got in a fight, and Josh Norman ended up being all pro for that team. Sometimes, especially in testosterone-filled atmospheres like football locker rooms, sports locker rooms, dudes in general are going to fight. You been, especially at summer practice, where I've been around you for 60 days or 45 days at the time when we played 45 days.
You don't touch the quarterback. And I know that's as unfair is all of the things that is not. You better not touch that quarterback or I'm going to touch your scholarship. It is that simple.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You not touching Patrick Queen's scholarship, though. Chinese weather balloons. Chinese weather balloons. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, man. It wasn't Chinese weather balloons this time. I actually had a screaming toddler, or baby. Tyler is a few years away. Screaming baby going berserk. So I had to go give grandma a little bit of a relief. Get the bottle ready and all that stuff. So I'm back, man. We back. We were talking about, if I'm not mistaken, we were talking about Joe Burrow and him having the intangibles of being a leader, and just how he was ready to fight everybody. And he is not the typical pompous, stereotypical white quarterback on a black team type player, as a lot of people thought he was, or thought he was. He is actually a very good leader, and he's with the shits, as he was talking about fighting Patrick McQueen during practice. And Norwood said everybody deserves to get their scholarship taken because you hit the number one quarterback.
Yeah, it's off limits. There's certain things that we don't do here, and touching the quarterback is number one and number two. And the rule number 3 is remember rule number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, you can't fuck that up. All right, man, let's get to some funny stuff. So you have, everybody knows, I mean, it's the world was pretty much was the sun never sets on the British Empire at one point in the 1800s. Great Britain is a big deal around the world. King Charles, or Prince Charles, was I don't even want to say inducted. I don't know what it's called.
Coronated king, crowned, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He was crowned as the new king of England, along with his wife being the queen. And apparently, the Glasgow Celtics, who are in the English Premier League, I apologize, had this to say about their fans. Had this chant about King Charles, and in England. Let's listen to it.
We are never going to say King Charles. That doesn't sound right at all.
It's weird. And as being a black man, I don't want to say that ever. Not for them. So there's an accent there. But as you can see in the caption, it says, stick the coronation up your ass. We're going to listen to us. Stick the coronation up your ass. Up your ass. Stick the coronation up your ass.
This is, I mean, I like it. It is spicy.
What you gonna do, punish the whole stadium? You can't do nothing.
Exactly. And even more than that, I mean, could you imagine? Must be nice to be able to do something like that.
What about that?
A wop babaloo a wop bamboo. You better stop playing. This is funny. I'm gonna let you get done. I'm gonna tell you why this is super funny.
I don't follow NASCAR. For those that are listening, I just showed a picture of 2 NASCAR. It is race season. It is warm outside. They're not drunk, but have you ever been to a NASCAR race or heard of one? It's sponsored by all of the American Bud Lights, Budweisers, Bud Light.
Not anymore.
Oh yeah,
Anheuser-Busch has been canceled by the cancellation committee.
He tried to set me up. But yeah. So what happens when the demographic that likes NASCAR gets together? Normally some fighting happens. So this is what we're about to watch. The Thugs. I'm going to refresh it so it starts from the beginning. The Thugs.
It's the thuggish, ruggish bone.
Ooh.
Quick, swift, right hand. He's
So,
stuffing.
yeah, I wish we could wish we could see what was
Is that interview interrupted?
going on here, I guess.
So they were conducting an interview. And while the interview was playing, two NASCAR drivers just get into it. And one guy gets held back by an older black gentleman who looks like security and was like, I fuck you up back in the day.
That is the right hand. It's an overhand right. It's quick. It's to the point. It's punctual because it was on time. But I want you to notice the old black man strip. Hey, you're done here, son. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done. He moved him all the way around that track like he was a car. Move over here. But one thing you are not stronger than is an old black man. And after he was done moving you around like a car, he tapped you on the back and kind of laughed. Said, yeah, you good. All right, yeah, none of that.
But I'll point this out about the old black man. There's a few things in this video. The younger driver, or the younger looking driver, was the one that got wop babaloo baba wop bamboo. If you gonna get up in somebody's face and put your hands on them, you don't need to grab them by their lapel, because that leaves you open for the overhand right, which is what the older gentleman did. And then the black dude ended up, he just walked in the middle, and that's why I said black dudes, they are old black men are strong, but they're also wise. He ain't grabbed the dude that threw the punch. He grabbed the dude that grabbed the lapel. He said, you don't need, the dude that threw the punch already won the fight. It's already over with here.
And if you're going to grab the lapel, as a person who has been a lapel grab, you got to go double hand on the lapel, and you got to be ready to move them like an offensive lineman, because you don't have but a little bit
jack
of
up the
time
collar.
before.
You got to jack up the collar so it discombobulates them.
You got to get them quick so that they be like, am I getting grabbed like a child? And then you got to throw them, and then you got to let them go. But otherwise, you're right. Your hands are inside. His
hands are outside.
Hey, better be safe, but keep your dukes up, number one. And old black man, they stronger than everybody on there. Unbothered too. What you can see, he's not sweating, he's not tired, he's not losing. Hey, son, I done told you now. Stop now. All right, you good. You all right. Yeah,
turn him loose. That is definitely turn him loose. Turn him loose now. Turn him loose. Hey, what this look like to y'all? Listen, this gonna be the album cover. This is what I want as the album.
Did you ever think that it wouldn't be? I put that in the group specifically so you would see the album cover before it came out. Now I don't know where exactly to put the splash cast because Skip is just skipping it, but I will figure that out.
I would make the splash cast the Death Row Records chain. That's what I would do. Mid-Journey.
No, I need the Death Row. The Death Row chain is what really sets it off, with the old school black turtleneck and the look of conviction on Skip Bayless's face. This is excellent.
It looks like it Skip Bayless, for those that are listening, it was him and Shannon Sharp were gifted. They had Snoop Dogg as a guest, and they were gifted Death Row chains. You know, Snoop Dogg bought all the rights to Death Row.
Rose gold Death Row chain.
Rose gold Death Row chain with blinged out pendant. Huh.
I love this. There's nobody who needs a Death Row chain more than Skip Bayless.
And it's funny because Skip plays the antagonist. And he's like, cancel me now. I bet y'all don't like. And it's funny because he's white, and everything that he hates on is allegedly black. Like, it's hilarious, and it's not. I'm not saying that because Skip hates on everybody, but what I'm saying is the perception to go along with the photo is like, hate me now. It's such a great photo.
I hate that everybody hates Skip, but that is also his gift, and I think he understands that.
Well, I think
it's
that's
about people having an opinion of you. And everybody who knows or has heard of or has ever seen Skip has an opinion. And that's a valuable position to be in. That is an entertainer.
Yeah. Yeah. He said his mood after both the Sixers and Suns even the series with huge home wins was the caption. And y'all know he wears nothing but J's too. That's the thing. Like, so he had on the J's, all black with the death row chain. Ooh, what you gonna say to him? Ain't he from Texas? There's so much going on with this picture. If you know the background, it's hilarious. He's from Oklahoma, but he worked in Texas. He covered.
He's a Sooners fan.
Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is hilarious.
Oh yeah, I like this, and it's such. What can you do other than you gotta laugh because it's funny, but it's well played. It's Skip being Skip.
It is.
And that pose is terrible.
It is looking right in the camera.
Skip, he takes a lot of very weird pictures. As a person who considers themselves a relative. As a person who considers themselves a Skip Bayless fan, supporter, whatever you want to call it, his photo taking is 100% weird, but it's entertaining. I never don't get it. He delivers a laugh every time. Let me say it.
I think it's part of the brand.
Double negative my way out of there, boy.
You were. I think it's part of the brand, personally. I think all the pictures and all of that stuff, he's actually in on it now. So.
And this will be the last time these people are invited anywhere.
Sometimes, so at the bowling alley, it was posted that this group of friends went to the bowling alley and they I'm just going to play it. Ran a football play. And while they're running the football play, they hand it off, play action, and he rolls a strike running down the bowling alley.
But what y'all missed is this is left-handed.
He's left-handed.
Take it still. And he crushed it. Perfect execution.
He looked like
and
the offensive tackle.
This will be the very last time you guys can ever come to this bowling alley again. But if you're going to get put out, this is the way to do it. Congratulations. Go out on a strike. I
do that every time. Just to see if that works.
They would send you home. They would send you home, sir. This is not how we bowl. Just can't make up new rules. And
Who is they?
No. Everybody, if I own that bowling alley and y'all are doing that with my bowling alley, you got to go home, bro.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the pregame. We're going to take a moment to take about 2 minutes, and we'll be right back with the beginning of the episode. Our HBCU segment is going to be a pretty quick episode. Not a lot to talk about at HBCU. We do have some congratulations to send out. Basketball, whoo! Playoffs is kind of crazy. And then in football, man, just a lot of good signings. Good.
Y'all better pray stories. For the Knicks.
Knicks getting, well, yeah.
Knicks is nicking, or at least Reggie's TV somehow is always ahead of mine. I don't know what he does. I don't know what magical wizardry that he has from Harry Potter. But his TV just runs in front of mine. But yeah, it looked like the Knicks were struggling last time I saw. But
yep. Well, y'all stay tuned. We will be right back.